Hello and welcome back, everybody. I hope you are all doing great. Okay, I believe in our last video we ended we ended it with past perfect tense, right? So in this video we are going to continue with present tense. So similar to past tense, there are also three categories of past tense. So sorry, did I say past tense? Present tense. So there are three categories of present tense. So we have simple present tense, present continuous tense, or present progressive tense, and also present perfect tense. So um, if we look back at our previous video on past tense, we know that simple past tense is used to describe things that happen in the past, simply in the past. So similar to that, simple present tense is also used to simply describe things that happens in the present. And then for continuous or progressive tense, for present continuous tense, it is used to describe about things that is happening at a specific time in the present. So the keyword here is specific time. And the last one, present perfect tense, is used to describe things that happen in uh, our present space, in the present, but since, well, if we look back at the at the diagram of time, let me just show you here. If you look back at this, uh, you will notice that in each of the smaller boxes, right? For example, here, smaller boxes, you have your um, individual dots, right? For something like this, here, here, and here. So for present perfect tense, well, the action described happens in this smaller box, but it may happen at the first dot, and we are describing about it. Well, now we might be at the seventh dot, and we are describing things that happen in the first dot in the present, where you can still feel the effects of the action. And well, you don't have to worry about that yet, because I'm going to go more into detail about it when explaining to you about present perfect tense. Okay, so let's just go back to our slide. We will start with simple present tense. Okay, let me just write it down first. Simple present tense. So as I mentioned just now, it is used to describe things or actions that happen in the present. Usually when we talk about present, we, just as we saw just now, we have the present box, right? So present could be a duration. For example, this week. So this week would be our present. So if you, well, you are still living in the week, in the particular week, and for the whole week you keep on eating rice, then you can say that you eat rice. And okay, so that is how you describe uh, simple present tense. So for example, if you have your roommate and you notice that he's been eating rice for the whole week, so you can say that he or she eats rice every day. So you are actually talking about the present. So when you are saying that, it means that that person eats rice every day, and up until today he is still eating rice. Okay. So it also shows that the action done is repetitive. For example, you have your English class on Sunday. So when you wanted to describe your action of going to class, or your friend Sarah's action of going to class every Sunday, you can say, I will. We are going to describe about what we are doing first. Okay, I go to English class every Sunday. Sarah goes to English class every Sunday. So notice a slight difference there. We are going to talk about it after this. Okay, and simple present tense is also used. Well, first, something. Repetition, and then another one would be facts. When you describe facts, you use simple present tense, because facts are things that is not change that is not changeable. So if it's a fact, then you cannot change the facts, right? For example, uh, you can say that mm, the sun rises from the east. The fact is, the sun always rises from the east. The sun has never ever risen from the west, right? So that is a fact. So when you are talking about facts, then you are going to use simple present tense. Okay, so there are actually rules for this. So in order for you to use simple present tense, you have to know uh, the subject first. As usual, subject or the noun. Then you have the verb. The changes will happen in the verb. Okay, so the subject, we have I, we have you, we have we, and we have they. We may have Sarah and John. You have Sarah alone. You have he, she, or it. Okay, so let's categorize these subjects first. So you have I and you, and then we until Sarah and John, and then you have Sarah and the rest. Okay, let's categorize it, because this categorization will what we call it, influence the changes that we are going to make. So I and you, we can categorize it as special. Okay, we, they, Sarah, and John can be categorized as plural, because there are more than one. And Sarah alone, he, she, it can be categorized as singular noun. Okay, so let's pick a verb. Okay, we are going to use the verb, let's say, go. That's a simple one, right? Go. So if you use I, the special verb, you don't have to make any changes to the verb. So go remains go. Okay, this is also applicable to plural, go. But when it comes to singular, you have to make a slight changes here. Go becomes goes. So you have to add es at the back. So the rule here is that if the subject is in singular form, you have to change or you have to make some addition to your verb. If go, then becomes goes. If your verb is let's say clean, then your verb would be, okay, so this one is the same, clean, and this one is the same, clean, but for the last one you have to add s at the back, cleans. So the rule is, if the subject is singular, you may have to add s or es at the back of your verb to mark that it is our verb, to mark that the action is in simple present. So when it is in simple present, it could be a repetitive action that is being done, and is still being done, and the thing that you are talking about might be a fact. Okay, I hope this is clear for you. So now let's move on to our next type of present tense. So this is going to be more interesting compared to the previous one. So now we are going to talk about present continuous tense or present progressive tense. Continuous. Oh, I hope I get it right. Tense. Okay, so now we are going to talk about continuous or progressive. When we talk about continuous or progressive, we are actually talking about specific time, right? So as it is in present, so we are going to use present continuous tense to describe let me just use like describe things or actions that are describe things or actions that are done, sorry, action being done, that are being done, sorry, action that are being done at a specific time in the present, or just remember now. Okay, so when you are going to describe about what you are doing right now, as if in right now, you are going to use present continuous tense, because right now is the specific time in the present. If we look at the dot again, let me just draw the dot here for you. If you have the dot here, sorry, if you have the square here that represents present, then you have the dots here. We don't know which dot we are in, right? But as we are speaking now, we can be here, we can be here, but it is still specific, right? So that is why when we talk about something that we are doing right here, right now at this specific time, we are going to use present continuous tense. Okay, all right. So whatever that you are doing right now, for example, I am talking to you right now, you may be you are listening to me now, or you are watching my video now, then you are going to use your present continuous tense when you want to describe about what you are doing now at a specific time now. Okay, so the rule is simple, but it's more, well, you have more rules compared to simple present tense. Okay, so the first thing that you need to know is your subject. Okay, subject plays an important part here, and then your verb. I'm not going to touch about the predicate because it's not really important here. Well, not to say that they are not important, but the most important things here are the subject and the verb. So subject, we have our I, you, we, they, Sarah, and John, and you have John alone, and then you have he, she, and it. Let's categorize our our subject or noun first. Okay, so you have I and you have we until Sarah and John, and you have John until, well, the rest. All right. So you have the first one is the special verb, and then you have your plural verb, you have your singular here. Okay, so if you still remember our last if you still remember our past continuous, you may notice that whenever we use continuous tense, you have to use the be verb. Okay, so as we have mentioned before, the past form for the be verb for I is was, but you were. Here in the present form, the be verb for I is am, you is are, plural is are, and singular is. Okay, now we take any verb. Okay, let's take an example of the verb sit. Okay, so this is easy. Sit. Does it sound correct to you? No, right? Because we know that after am, are, or is, you have to make some addition. So verb plus ing. So I am sitting. Let's use another example because the T looks similar to plus. Let's take play. Okay, play. I am play. So doesn't sound well. It sounds weird, right? So just plus ing there. I am playing. You are playing. He is playing. They are playing. So this is the rule. Whenever you want to use present continuous tense, you just put the be verb in the present form according to the subject, whether it's special, I or you, or plural or singular, and then for the verb that you are going to describe, plus ing. So if you want to describe that you are playing at the time that you are speaking, then you would say I am playing. She is playing. I am right now talking to you. You are right now listening to me, or you are right now watching my videos. Okay. I hope you guys can understand this. Okay, so the last one for present tense is present perfect tense. So this one is quite confusing. Let me just write it down for you first. Present perfect tense. Okay, so what is present perfect tense? Well, present perfect tense is, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, is actually a tense that we use to talk about something. Well, this might confuse you, okay, but bear with me. Something that you have done, but the effect is still, the effect can still be felt. You still feel the effect of the action. So when I mentioned that the action have is the action is have been done, it might sound as if it is in the past, right? Well, that is partially true because, well, if you did something, well, of course it's in the past, but uh, it still depends on how you define past and present, because as we know, when we look at our diagram, uh, past, present, and future, they can be, they can actually be interconnected. Well, a moment ago can be in the past, but you can still consider it your present, because defining present is also, well, mm, how should I say it, um, interesting, because one moment ago could be the past, but it could still be the present. It depends on how you are looking at it. Okay, for example, you said that today is your present, right? But today alone, right, consists of a moment ago, a second ago, a minute ago, an hour ago. So those could be the past, but you can still consider it today, right? Okay, so for perfect tense, just bear in mind, whatever yet you have done, well, you did, but the action can still be felt. You can still feel the effect. Okay, let's take. Let me just write it down for you. What's done okay. Describe what's done and you can still feel the effects. Okay, let's move on to example. If I say I have loved my I have loved her. I have loved her. So this is present perfect tense. This is not past tense. Okay, just compare this. I have loved her versus I loved her. Do these sentences have the same meaning? Well, no. This one means that you started to love her, not now, but in the past, but you can still feel the love for her. So it means that you still love her. This one, on the other hand, means that you no longer love her. So that is a difference. The first one, present perfect, means that you did the action of loving, but you can still, or you still, love that person. Okay, you still feel the effect. This one, on the other hand, simple past, means that you did the action in the past, and the effect is no longer felt. You no longer feel the effect of loving. Okay. Okay, is it clear for you now? I hope it is. Okay, so let's move on to the rule. So, as usual, rules, you have your subject or your noun, and then you have your verb. Okay, so you have your I, you have we, they, Sarah, and John. You have Sarah alone, you have he, she, and it. Okay, categorize it. Okay. Alright. This is special. Oh, sorry. Special. This is plural, and this is a singular. Okay, let's just take the verb love. Or okay, the first verb would be let's use love. So the first rule is that you have to put verb to have. Okay, so you have to add, for special and plural, you have to add have. Similar here, have. For singular, you have to put has. So this is if we look back at past perfect, you add had instead of have. So had is actually the past form of have. So when you say had, it means that you no longer have that thing. But if you say have, you still have that thing with you. Okay, so I have love. So this one has to be in past participle form. Loved. So since love is a regular noun, regular verb. You just need to add d or ed in some cases, but if you use another verb, for example the verb keep, which is an irregular verb, sorry, bad handwriting, you have to change it to something else. You have to change it to kept, because they should be in past participle. So verb in past participle. So whenever you use this, it means that you have done something, well, that looks like it is in the past, but it's actually right now. Well, maybe you have just done it and you can still feel the action, feel the effect, not the action, I'm sorry. So for example, I have opened the door, you mean that you have opened the door and you still feel the breeze coming in. But comparing it to I had opened the door, which is in the past perfect tense, it means that you open the door and the door is now maybe shut, so it's not open anymore. Let's use the word keep. I have kept the secret. It means that you started keeping the secret from uh, from uh, from from the past, and you still keep it. You are still keeping it. You have never let the cat out of the hat yet. I mean, you have never told anyone about the secret yet. But if you say that I had kept the secret, it means that, well, you kept the secret before, and right now the secret is no longer a secret because you have told someone about it. So that is the only difference between uh, past perfect and present perfect. Okay, right. So I think that's quite a lot for a video, right? Maybe I'll just end the video here. Thank you very much for listening and watching.